Hi guys, Mr. T here. This is another video. This one is on perfect squares expansion. So any number, when it's squared, is considered a perfect square. So for example, 2 squared, so 2 times by itself, equals 4, and that is a perfect square. Okay. Brackets in maths always group multiple terms together. So anything within a set of brackets, once you've worked out what they are, is considered one number. If you square it, that's also a perfect square. So for example, if you had a plus b in a set of brackets being squared, that's a perfect square because once you know what the answer to a plus b is, it's technically one number that you're squaring together, okay? So now remember that if a plus b in brackets squared is written out in full, you get a plus b in brackets multiplied by itself, a plus b. And if you expand this, using FOIL, you get a particular answer. Okay, so FOIL, firsts are a times by a, which is a squared, plus the outers, which are a times by b, so ab, plus the inners, which is b times by a, which is also a, b, plus the last, which is b times by b, which is b squared. And that, when you group the like terms together, you've got a squared plus, I've got two ABs here, so 2AB plus B squared. That is always the case, B squared here, that is always the case for perfect squares with two terms in the bracket. So anything with something plus something else in a set of brackets squared by itself. That's a shortcut to the answer known as perfect squares expansion, allowing you to avoid doing FOIL. Okay, you can do FOIL if you want, but it's an extra step that you don't need to do. So let's run a couple of examples here. So you've got 2x plus 3 in a set of brackets squared. So in this case, a is 2x and b is 3. So it's always helpful to write the terms in brackets when you apply the shortcut. So the shortcut tells you that it is, so I'm going to write the shortcut up here, a squared plus 2 lots of whatever a times by b is plus b squared. So a in this case is 2x, and that's going to be squared, plus 2 lots of whatever a times by b is, so it's 2x is a times by b, which is 3, plus b squared, which is 3 squared. So 2x squared is 4x squared, plus 2 lots of 2x times by 3, that is 6x, plus 3 squared is 9. Not finished yet, 4x squared plus 2 times by 6x is 12x plus 9. Alright? Now, that's an application of the shortcut. It looks laborious, but it would take longer if you had to do FOIL as well. So let's show that that's correct using FOIL. So firsts, and how do I apply FOIL to this? Because 2x plus 3 in brackets squared is actually 2x plus 3 times by 2x plus 3. Just to illustrate what the firsts are. So firsts are 2x times by 2x, that's 4x squared, plus outers, 2x times by 3x, which is 6x, plus the inners, 2x times by 3x, which 2x times by 3, which is 6x again, plus lasts, 3 times by 3, 9, and then 4x squared, collect the like terms, plus 12x plus 9. So you can see actually that that's very similar in, well, shorter actually in steps. And you would think, why would I ever have to do this? In later cases where you are doing much more complex algebra and these terms are more difficult, it's actually useful to use this perfect squares expansion. And it's also useful for later when you are factorizing, when you're putting the brackets back. So don't look at this example as a reason to avoid it. It's important to understand that perfect squares expansion exists for later down the line. And it may be easier to use when you're dealing with negative numbers as well, which we'll have a look at an example of here. So a in this case is 2 and b in this case is negative x. So let's have a look. A is 2 squared plus 2 lots of a times by b. So it's 2 times by negative x plus b squared, which is negative x squared. 2 squared is 4 plus 2 lots of 2 times by negative x is negative 2x plus negative x times by negative x is x squared. 4 plus 2 times by negative 2x is negative 4x plus x squared. So we've got a positive x squared, negative 4x, and a positive 4. Okay, so that was dealing with negative numbers. Let's see if FOIL is easier or harder in this case. So 2 take x, 2 take x. Firsts, 2 times 2 is 4. I could do a joke there, but I won't. Outers, negative 2x plus inners, negative 2x plus lasts. Negative x times x is x squared. So 4 take 2x. Take 2x plus x squared. 4 minus 4x plus x squared. Rearrange it. X squared negative 4x positive 4. So they're the same, about the same steps. So once again, it's still important for you to keep in mind this idea of perfect squares expansion. Maybe not as a shortcut for expansion, but you can choose to use it. It's more important for when you are going back and factorizing and returning the brackets. And that's later down the line, okay? That's a more complex level of algebra. So hopefully that helps you out with this kind of expansion, and I'll see you in the next video.